Who was Edison, and what was his secret to inventing so many things? You'll be amazed by what you're about to discover. Hi, everyone. Have you ever wondered how many light bulbs did Thomas Edison invent? Or did he really invent the first electric light? How about the phonograph or the motion picture camera? Most people think that Thomas Edison invented all these things, but that's not quite right. In fact, Edison didn't invent any of these things. He just improved upon previous inventions and made them better. For example, before Edison, there were many inventors who were working on the electric light. One of them even created an electric arc lamp that could light up an entire room. However, this invention was impractical because the bulb burned out quickly and it was very expensive. Edison saw this problem and thought he could do better, so he spent years experimenting with different materials for the light bulb until he finally created one that was cheap, reliable, and long-lasting. That's why today we use Edison light bulbs in our homes. But Edison didn't stop there. He went on to invent the first practical recording device, the phonograph, which could capture and reproduce sound. He also invented the motion picture camera, which could capture and project moving images. In fact, Edison was the first person to make a movie studio and the first movie projector. So the real question is, how did Edison come up with all these ideas? What was his secret? The answer is simple. Edison was a curious person. He loved to ask questions and experiment with new things. As a kid, he was already taking things apart and putting them back together again. He was also a voracious reader, reading everything he could get his hands on. And he was always going to see the latest inventions and exhibitions. All of this gave him a lot of ideas for new inventions. But he didn't just stop there. He took his ideas and made them better. That's why Edison is considered the greatest inventor in history. He didn't just invent new things, he made them better. If you want to be a great inventor, you have to be curious and never stop asking questions. Also, you should read a lot and keep learning new things. Who knows? You might just invent the next big thing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.